All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance to Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
This is the second episode, A Letter from the Past.
Yes.
This is maybe the context I was talking about that was needed in the previous episode.
I think a whole lot of context would be needed in order to make us sympathize with Dio.
I don't think this is for Dio sympathizing. I'm thinking this is for just giving added context to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know.
General, like, plot revelations and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very dramatic opening for this first episode that we watched. But now where this is going, I don't know.
But that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
I think this episode, if not the next episode after this, will give us that kind of general idea of the overall direction.
Unless the whole point is to not have a general idea.
That would be pretty impressive if they did that right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's watch this.
Oh,
it looks real now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he burned your dog alive.
Yeah, did you forget about all that? Oh, they're both pretending.
I love how they have different, like, inner monologue backgrounds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he wants to take the inheritance, yeah. So that's why he's playing...
Right, that's why he's... Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Called it.
Right, because he was able to determine that JoJo could beat him in a fight, so...
Right. His eyes are so
even his chin looked evil.
Yep. Oh shoot. He knows about the mask? Okay. Well, obviously to be worn.
Right.
Oh.
Wait, so the mother's the one with the mysterious backstory this time, not the dad?
Because the dad's gonna die.
Exactly.
But that box. Oh crap, he's gonna poison him?
Wait. Wow. Okay. I've been preparing for this moment.
Oh, right. Oh, the same thing. Yeah.
Oh,
holy crap, he killed his dad too.
It's been him all along.
Yeah. Of course I do.
Yeah, that's fine. But he hated his real father.
Right. It is making him hesitate, though.
Yeah.
近いか勘違いするなあんなクズに名誉などあるものか
君への疑惑が確信に
Wow.
変わったぞ。ディオ。君の動揺と憎悪は普通じゃない。君と実の父親の間に何があったのかは知らんが、君は父親を殺害している。
Oh, I've learned that trick.
僕は父を、ジョースター家を守
Wind
る。
starts blowing from out of nowhere.
Right? Holy crap.
やるか。ディオ、君の7年間の考えが分かった。僕らには最初から友情など存在しなかった。
Well,
そして父にはもう近づかん。この薬を分析して必ず刑務所に放り込んでやるぞ。
くそ、あと一歩というところだったのに。手紙など見つかったのは何かの前兆か。いや、あんなクズのせいで計画を潰してたまるものか。死んだ女の服なんぞ奪わない。母は苦労して死んだ。
Holy
あ
crap.
いつの血がこの体に流れていると思うだけで気が狂
I
い
knew
そうに
it.
なる。
There's some context here. A little bit of context.
Wait, is he
もう
bleeding?
引くことはできない。7年前、この仮面は俺の血で
Yeah, here we go.
この骨心がジョジョの脳みそに食い込めば間違いなく即死。しかも研究中の事故死となり、殺人容疑は俺にはかかってこない。ジョジョ、お前の研究でお前自身が死ぬんだ。
Interesting. Oh my gosh.
おい、リズ、任せるぜ。こいつバカか。ナイフを素手で止めやがった。だがよ、オイラがこのナイフをちょいと引っ張ったら指4本はそげ落ちるぜ。試してみろ。引っ張った瞬間、僕の丸太のような足蹴りが君の体を突僕には指4本など失ってもいい理由がある。それは父を守るため、家を守るため。君らとは戦う動機の格が違うんだ。気に入ったぜ。あんたの名前を聞かせてくれ。ジョナサン・ジョースター。
Dio?
ジョジョのやつ、きっちりもたれ死んだんだろうな。
The flare on
薬の
his
証拠。
coat.
Like literal wings.
酒飲まずにはいられない。あのクズのような父親と同じことをしている。
Yeah.
くそ。気をつけない。どこ見て歩いてんだ、この
They're gonna die.
面白い。いい機会だ。ジョジョの前にまずここで試してやる。何をごちゃごちゃ言
Oh
ってるんだ。
crap.
人体実験だ。この光は一体。
Yeah. I think you ended up doing something you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, probably.
That looked like magic.
幻覚か
Some kind of
今の光は。死んだか。
holy crap.
面白くもない。ただの拷問殺人道具よ。
Is he dead though?
Is he really?
I think I saw a finger twitch.
Yeah.
死んでいない。
What the heck?
こいつは。牙。
He's a zombie? Some kind of undead. Oh!
なんだこの。
What
Wait.
the heck?
Did that just happen?
まだ来る。あいつ腕の痛みは感じないのか。
So now he's gonna use the mask to get power or something like that.
Right.
川に飛び降り
Yeah,
る
you
のだ。
gotta run, dude. You're dead.
Oh!
Oh, he's
知らねえがよ。乾いて
he's
乾いてしょうがね
drinking
えん
him
だ。
basically.
血が吸い込まれて
Yeah.
る。
Oh, it's a vampire.
石仮面の秘密が分かってきた
Wow.
しかし
Oh, vampires
Oh,
can't handle
vampires
sunlight.
can't handle the sun. Oh. Oh, this is like
Saves by the luck of the draw.
legit vampires where they just
Yeah.
burn to ash.
太陽の光
I know that sound effect. Oh, you can bet Dio would definitely use this mask on himself.
Oh yeah.
どうした執事なぜ邸内の明かりを消している
He's prepping for the
少女
とうとう掴んだぞディオ君の悪魔のような
For the
陰
eventual
謀の
fight.
証拠
Okay, so wait. All this time,
all those
the
to be continued little-
memes was
Never
JoJo's
missed.
ending? Wait.
That is amazing.
Okay, Jacob. We're now gonna have so much extra, like, things we have to go through and make sure, like, wait, is that a JoJo's reference? I think I get how that's now a meme. Is like, wait, did you just make a JoJo's reference?
Yeah.
Is there everywhere?
Because and a lot of times like that's its own thing now. Like the memes with that sound, and people don't even know. Like,
Yeah, we had no
my
idea.
gosh.
Oh man. Okay,
That
so
is beautiful.
that is amazing. But this episode was definitely a context episode. They decided to have this little kind
Yeah.
of goofy thing in the
football game or whatever.
The football game, yes, was hilarious. But the alleyway thing where JoJo is now a true
yes,
gentleman.
Right, exactly.
But there's this whole bit with vampires. So
Like, okay.
is this a vampire show? Like
I don't like.
I think that's more of a one-off thing.
I think I would have heard of it,
but
if it was
but
a vampire
here's the thing,
show.
though. Dio had that like look at the blade and the mask.
Oh yeah.
For all we know, he's already.
As far as I'm
vampire.
concerned, he's already a vampire.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: he could have also been turned into a vampire by the other vampire. Without putting on the
potentially.
mask, because
Potentially.
they made a point of showing
We don't know
that
the
there was-
rules of this universe.
We
though.
don't, but they did make a point of showing that there was that big post, and he was still in the shadow when the sun came up.
That's true.
Now
very
maybe that was
true.
just foreshadowing that he would turn himself into a vampire, because otherwise, like, how would he move from that spot? But
Right. But he's got the whole mansion ready for him.
Yep,
So if Dio
he's-
succeeds, he's just going to be sitting in that mansion, laying back and being like, yeah.
doing his poses.
Yeah, exactly. Doing poses and having that just fabulous look of
Yep.
I'm an immortal vampire.
But
And I've got everything I wanted.
Oh my god, I cannot get over the fact that tune is from JoJo's. Like,
I can't believe it either. That kind of blew our minds. Okay, so with where this is going, they're not really immediately resolving any of the Dio and JoJo kind of rivalry.
no, but I wouldn't be surprised if they resolved it in the next couple episodes.
In the next episode or two. I think
Yeah.
so too, because with the pace they've got it going, this one was dramatically slower than the previous one because they weren't
Yes.
jumping around through time.
They weren't, but
I would say that if this is the second to last episode, if this is the middle episode of the origin of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
right,
then I would say that's fine.
right,
Because within 3 episodes, you should get the basic idea of everything about the story.
right,
But basic. I'm meaning like super basic.
yeah, and the
And I don't think we fully have that yet.
that's true. But the way they are setting it up, they are very much setting it up so it's like, okay, now they're gonna have to fight, and it's gonna have to be serious because it's
Yeah.
not just burning his dog alive anymore. It's trying
Right.
to kill his father.
And now Dio has nothing he can really hide behind, which means he has to just
take
win,
it by force.
Take it by force.
Yeah.
Which means if he is a vampire already,
He probably is.
he probably is.
Especially
He'll
since
d-
they made it so that they met at night,
Which is another interesting kind of
Candles
thing they were
being lit
foreshadowing
and
by
stuff.
him. Why is everything so dark in here?
Yeah.
just foreshadowing. Not thinking that JoJo actually planned anything like that. But this could be kind of interesting if they add the whole vampire aspect to this thing. So imagine Dio is a vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of the primary antagonist, right?
Yeah.
Will JoJo be a vampire hunter, or will he be ending up being another vampire?
Technically, he probably would be a vampire hunter. Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying where this story goes in 10 episodes to 20 episodes.
Gotcha.
Or so. Will JoJo get killed? Will JoJo actually make it through this and become a vampire hunter, hunting after Dio specifically?
So what I would say is the big question is, will Dio be just a villain for these few episodes here or whatever, and maybe a bit further,
right?
Or will he be the overarching villain for the whole show?
I think it makes sense for this kind of story to give him at least a season.
Sure.
Maybe not at least a season, but at around a season.
Yeah, I would say at least one core.
Yeah.
So even if it's not
full 12 episodes
or whatever, but a good 12 episodes. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. But other than that, the way that they decided to handle a lot of the fights in this, I liked the previous episode style of it a little bit more.
Yes. The previous episode was a lot more fast paced. This one did slow things down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot happened this episode, but I did like what happened.
Right.
It was
but there was a lot of internal monologuing.
Yes,
which felt like it was slowing things down a bit.
Yeah.
But when they swapped back and forth between Dio and JoJo, I kind of found that funny because it was making Dio seem a little bit less maniacal and kind of intelligent, and made him sound kind of petty and like a bully.
It did.
Which I liked because it made him look stupid. Which
is very satisfying.
It's
when
very
you have
satisfying.
You hate like Dio.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just want to point out too that again, even though this episode is a lot slower, 2 episodes in, we have introduced the character, made you hate his guts.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate his guts. Then done actual progressions for okay, now these characters are going to have to actually fight. And this Dio guy has also discovered some, crazy arcane power or whatever.
Not the main protagonist.
Not the main protagonist.
Right.
And that's impressive.
It's impressive. Yeah.
Even though these characters are simplistic right now, right? Because
absolutely
they are. They totally are. But the fact that we have this strong a grasp on the characters already,
right?
I can't remember the last time that happened.
Yeah, one of the things that people nowadays try to do, and I wonder if this is just more of a 80s style than a thing that's a storytelling choice. It's just this was the style of the things back then. Is that nowadays people try to hit the more nuanced points and they end up missing the opportunity for a character to form at all. Because it's either so subtle it doesn't even show up, or it's claimed to be subtle when there's actually nothing there.
Right, and or it's just never able to break free of the tropes. Like I would say this is this feels like one of those old revenge movies, right? Where there's the person who's bad and he wears a black hat, and all that stuff, and he's just evil through and through. But because of that, they're able to have okay, this is where the conflict's going to be, right?
Right.
Whereas in a lot of stories that have come out nowadays, I feel like they try to do something like that by having there be these character tropes and sort of cookie cutter templates that they can build off of.
Yeah.
But because the story itself isn't as simplistic, because they'll try to do something a bit, new or whatever.
For sure.
And it's not some basic revenge kind of story. And just the general execution of the characters might not be very good, then they don't end up growing into anything beyond just some general poorly executed template.
Yes. Well said. Well said. And that's not something we're going to have to deal with here in this show, I think. One of the things I want to bring up, though, is I think I divined now why they're jumping through time a lot in the beginning.
Is because Dio becomes a vampire.
Because Dio becomes a vampire, and the whole thing of vampires is that they're immortal, right?
Right.
So the next time we see the next episode, we're probably going to jump ahead in time again, and we're going to jump ahead again and again and again, and throughout time we're going to potentially see, let's say JoJo becomes a vampire too, It could be two eternal, immortal rivals.
So what now, Jack Sparrow? We be two immortals locked in epic battle until judgment day and trumpets sound.
Or you
Or
can
you can
surrender.
surrender.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That would be
pretty
kind of
good.
cool. And that would be a way for the story to go on forever but, while still making it interesting.
Although how they would manage to do that when
Things
you're
keep
at a-
evolving.
Oh yeah, sure. And if you think about it, even if you have something like a vampire that's immortal, they can still die if they're just in the sun. So
Right.
that's an easy way for it to end if you manage to just subdue the person and,
Chuck them into an open field.
right, fly over a desert and just
Right.
there you go.
There's a couple ways. There's a couple ways this could go.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the main reason why they're bringing up the year in what it is, because it's like
Sure.
the whole thing
Right.
starts in the late 1800s, but really it starts now in 1888 when the brothers finally fight and they both become vampires or something.
My tale begins in the 12th century.
My tale begins in the 12th century. If you get that, share in the comments, because a lot of people will not get that reference.
Oh,
It
boy.
is quite a sharp reference, and it has
Yeah.
a very sincere point to it that is quite legendary.
Just
Shut up.
Stop.
Okay, so with essentially, I would say the premiere, the 2/3 of the premiere, I would
Yeah.
say over, because I'm guessing the
third episode is going to
will resolve it.
wrap this up. Yeah.
I'm a little bit tempered now in my expectations of JoJo, because
Okay.
I wasn't hyped about it. I was kind of like, all right,
I
this is
was.
going to be a ridiculous show. I mean, I was hyped, but I was more excited than hyped, because I was excited for a new experience. I was excited
sure.
for something that I wasn't really ready for.
Right.
And this has kind of given me that first bit of comparison between the first episode of JoJo's and the second episode of JoJo's. So we have that
Okay.
kind of
yeah.
that
Right.
balancing act that I can kind of look at and go, here's at least one extreme here, and here's the other end of the extreme here. And I can kind of put them
Right.
against each other and go, somewhere in the middle there is what JoJo's will be about going forward.
Although I get
At least
the
for
feeling,
now. For now.
I get the feeling, though, it might be something where each episode is a new extreme. Like,
Sure.
And-
Potentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Are we
okay.
supposed to fear for the main character's life? I actually was going to ask that, because the way they handled it in this episode, I'm like, I don't fear for his life. But
I
then
don't
they
think
introduced this
so.
vampire thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. Are
I'm-
we supposed to be...
I'm interested to see how it goes, but I am not afraid for JoJo's life, because this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I know,
Um,
but... pardon me. It doesn't necessarily mean that he can't die. Double negative. He could die,
die, but
because
just-
they've introduced this whole concept of vampires.
or yeah, he could be killed and just not die. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Did he just die when he got killed? Did he just not die when he got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say though, absolute props to this show, because okay, me and Caleb have seen a lot of shows, right?
Right.
And to be able to have a show that just feels different, like
Yeah.
so different, that doesn't happen a lot.
It really doesn't. One of the things that we end up getting a little bit tired of is being like, oh, here's this trope, and oh, here's this one. And a lot of people have told us, hey guys, just by the way, JoJo's is extremely referential,
And extremely tropey.
but it's one of the originals. It's one
Right.
of the ones in recent memory where we can go,
This is how that
this
got
is
started.
how that whole trope thing got started.
Wait, you're telling me that JoJo's is to blame for all those internal monologues and long-running shonen fights? What?
No, not necessarily. I think there are more specific things that we can
Sure.
look towards for that. But that gives us some really exciting thoughts of, what's going to be the next one? What's going to be the next kind of ridiculous thing we go, that's from JoJo's? Or
Yeah.
that's a JoJo's reference?
Oh boy.
But with the story being different, that allows us to kind of sit back and go, we can just take this at face value. We don't have to draw connections necessarily to anything else, unless it's being overtly,
Right.
drawn.
Yeah, if it's apparent, great, but we don't have to like do a bunch of in-depth digging, I don't think.
To an extent, is because the show right now is pretty shallow. There's not a lot of depth yet.
That's true. I mean, we're totally enjoying it.
Yeah,
but
we're
it is
absolutely
shallow.
enjoying it, but it's pretty shallow right
Yeah.
now. So that gives us the idea that when there is depth, it's going to be something, at the very least, we won't have seen the exact carbon copy of somewhere else.
Sure.
Like, that's why certain shows that will remain nameless, we kind of have that thing where we go, we don't even need to watch that. I've watched that exact same show with a slightly different premise somewhere else.
Pretty much.
I don't think anyone can say, just based on these 2 episodes we've watched, oh yeah,
No.
JoJo's, I don't need to see that. I've seen that exact same show somewhere else. No. I have never heard of or seen or even been recommended to anything that looks even remotely like this. Not to say anything about the story or the kind of the animation style or even the ridiculous just tone of everything.
Oh boy.
Over the top in all the right ways.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
they might end up going into this rule of cool thing at some point.
Yeah.
Do you really feel like that's what the beginning of the football game was basically them saying,
Possibly.
the rule of cool potential of these two.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I couldn't see any other dramatic emphasis on the rule of cool other than surprisingly with Dio. Like,
yes.
Dio has all this stuff that he can do that's just, cool. And they don't feel the need to explain it.
Right, like how he got some crazy poison when he was what? Like a little kid?
Really young.
Yeah.
Not only that, the just the fighting techniques he has.
Sure. Exactly.
His intelligence. Not really his intelligence right now, because this episode recently just showed him as kind of being a petty bully. Which is good. That's what he is, even if he is intelligent.
And
but I'd
even
rather
if he
they
is
focus
about to be a vampire.
Right. I'd rather they focus on that throughout his intelligent things, because it gives, like, here's the thing. A lot of times people want to make a villain that you root for, or just make one that's compelling and that you believe their story. And some people just go and make a puppy kicker, right? That's what Dio was basically hinted at being there.
No, not hinted. He literally...
Well, he literally kicked puppies, but the idea was that they went beyond puppy kicking. Like they took that extreme and they pushed it beyond that. Now, what's dangerous about that is it makes your villain so unrelatable that no one will like when he's on screen.
Right, except that with the style of show that this is, I feel like it's kind of like Gurren
Exactly.
Lagann. Kamina, how should I say this? If any of us were to...
we don't need to describe Gurren Lagann on this show.
But
it's over the top.
Yeah.
But with this, like you're saying, because of this
kind of show, they can do it and it works.
It works.
Yeah.
But it's just because of that.
Right.
Like, if you took Dio and you put him into any other show, it would suck really bad.
Yeah.
And it's not that we can't have puppy kickers outside of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's that they generally just end up being really poor characters.
Yep.
Because no one goes around burning puppies alive and has, like, no real motivation to do it.
Right.
Other than just, I don't like puppies.
And now, to be fair, Dio doesn't really have any motivation here either.
Right.
And as a character, he is nothing special.
Yeah.
But because they're so...
this is the style.
Yeah, because that's the style of it, and because everything's so over the top, you can have fun with it.
Not with literally killing puppies. But...
Not with literally killing puppies, but like, I don't know how to explain it.
I think a way to explain it is Dio is that character who they basically said, all right, we're going to do the dramatic bad guy character introduction. But we're going to make them so bad. We're going to make him so just evil that no one will be confused with all the other random crap going on.
Sure,
like,
yes.
if you think about it, JoJo's beginnings of a story so far, it's not deep by any means. But there's a lot of moving parts here and there that are starting to get added on.
Right. Ooh, okay.
So Dio is that simplicity of just...
Right.
Of just...
Okay.
Just not... Yeah.
Here's how I could sum it up. The whenever you have a puppy kicker type villain, right?
Right.
The thing that they can add to the story is that you will want to watch the story just to see them get taken down. Right.
Some people aren't like that. But
Some
yes,
people
I see
aren't
what
like
you're
that.
saying.
But that's something that they can add a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The problem is that a lot of stories, especially ones that try to be edgy, will take themselves way too seriously.
DC.
There are Anyways, there's a whole lot of stories that unfortunately
Right.
do this.
Are like this, yeah.
JoJo's isn't doing that.
No, not at all.
They are not doing that at all. They are owning what they are doing for sure, but they're not taking themselves super seriously.
Right, and that's a good thing, because what it leaves the option for the audience is, at certain points we can decide to take things seriously.
Right, but we don't have to.
We don't have to.
If we don't want to, that's great. We can just enjoy this wacky ride.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a bizarre adventure.
Exactly.
And right now, it's not very positive as far as adventures go. It's starting off pretty horribly. But that generally is how adventures start.
Exactly.
Something horrible happens that throws the main kind of character or characters out of their place of safety and norm into this crazy world where they have to figure out who they are, and then it all comes full circle and the plot is resolved and yada yada yada. So if this is the beginning of everything starting off, well then, way to go. I'm in for this ride. Let's have a bizarre adventure.
This is going to be great.
I'm really weirded out by like where it could go. But it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Very good thing.
And now we just have vampires in the mix. Like, let's just throw vampires in there. Why not? Yeah. It's the late 1800s. Transylvania's a thing. Why don't we have, just vampires? Yeah. I mean, it would be really funny, Jacob, if this was just a vampire show and we got, like, suckered into watching one without even really knowing it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
No. All right, guys. Well, if you want to watch the next JoJo's episode, check out the link in the description for our Patreon, and you can watch the 3rd episode of Early Access on our Patreon there.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you again next time. But until then, we're Semblance to Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.